SCPs and Christmas. What could go together more? Well, a lot of things, but I managed to find a handful of creepy Christmas SCPs that I thought I'd cover for a small Christmas special on this channel. If you want more content, please check out this video on Christmas horror games I made on my other channel. It took me a ton of work. I should also have a Christmas special out on my second channel tomorrow or later today as well, so stay tuned for that. That being said, thank you for all of the support this year despite my inconsistency, and I hope you enjoy this one. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I think it's only right to start things off with the most infamous Christmas SCP, that being SCP-4666, the Yule Man. This SCP is a singular humanoid being that has more than likely lived for a very long time. The only physical descriptions of the creature come from those who survived Weihnacht or White Night events. Frohe Weihnachten to the 5 German speakers that watch this channel, by the way. Definitely did not do that just to practice my German. So what do these Weihnacht events consist of? First of all, these have only happened in isolated rural homes that have a family with at least one child under the age of 8 in an area that is covered in snow during the entire event, which, makes sense because it's a white night. The event plays out like this. Nights 1 through 7. Children will report seeing SCP-4666 in the vicinity of their family's dwelling. The entity will typically be observed watching the dwelling from a distance, such as from across a nearby field or from the edge of a neighboring forest. In some cases, children will report waking up at night to find SCP-4666 watching them sleep through a window. Nights 8 through 11. Family members, including the parents, will report sounds of footsteps coming from the roof or the attic. An extremely unpleasant odor will also frequently be noticed inside the dwelling. No cause for these phenomena will be found. As a result, parents will often begin to suspect that their family is being stalked or even that their dwelling might be haunted. Night 12. Over the course of the night, one of two scenarios will occur. The first, and most common, is that SCP-4666 will kill all members of the family save for one child under the age of 8 whom it will abduct. SCP-4666 will inflict incapacitating injuries to family members while they are sleeping, then herd them into a single room of the dwelling where it will proceed to kill them in view of each other. The method of killing varies with the event and will typically be preceded by some form of torture, which appears to serve a ritualistic purpose. In the second scenario, which has occurred in roughly 15% of known Weihnacht events, SCP-4666 will not harm the family. Family members will report hearing footsteps inside their dwelling during the night, though no signs of forced entry will be found. In the morning, children will discover presents at the foot of their beds. These will consist of toys crudely crafted from the remains of human children. I never thought I'd say that I'd rather get Christmas presents made out of human remains, but here we are. It also states that it's unknown what actually makes SCP-4666 determine the outcome of an event. That actually makes it much scarier because its intentions and motivations are unknown, therefore it's unpredictable. It gives you even less control, as if you really had any. Going through the Weihnacht events log, we can see that there are events going as far back as the 1400s and that this creature has appeared in several countries. Obviously, these are only the significant events, meaning there are many more, but the countries included here are Croatia, Canada, Germany, the Soviet Union, Norway, and Iceland. Some things of note from each event that occurred are as follows. Croatia, 1498. The most notable thing here is that the Archbishop believed it was a part of a demonic ritual, as mentioned earlier. Rupert's Land/Canada, 1689. Most significant here is that one of the children escaped and survived, meaning you can run away from the Yule Man. This is where it's described as an unclothed man. Germany, 1913. Blood had been used to paint mysterious patterns on the fur of a mule, goat, and 2 cows that were in the stable, obviously for some kind of ritual. Soviet Union, 1956. Most disturbing thing here is that hundreds of bite marks were found all over the victims, likely incurred after they'd already passed. Another interesting thing is that branches from a fir tree have been placed on their bodies. Norway, 1971. Again, unknown symbols were drawn, this time on the walls of the basement. Iceland, 1996. What's most notable to me here is the calculation behind it, how it seems like everything done was very specific and had to be done in a specific order. Really, all of them seem that way, but I'll get into my theories on this SCP later. There's also a list of toys created by SCP-4666. Finland, 1811. A drum made from human remains, though it seems the drumsticks weren't. Wales, 1857. A small knife made from human bone. Kazakhstan, 1903. A flute, also made from human bone. Michigan, 1960. A box with 13 minifigures, all made from human bone. Canada, 1976. A ball made of skin wrapped around a small head. Netherlands, 2006. A hairbrush that has teeth instead of bristles. Teeth from 43 different victims. So, that's just impractical, really. The Yule Man also has a fingerprint as pictured here. The fingerprint has been discovered at every single Weihnacht event and seems to be inhuman. White hairs have also been discovered, though they present no DNA at all. In 2018, in Alaska, a doll was discovered. The lips were sewn shut and cloth was sewn into the skin in several places. The scalp had been replaced with a different one, the nails had been covered with different ones, and some fingers were removed. Not only that, but the eyes of the doll were replaced with pebbles. Unfortunately, or fortunately I suppose, depending on how you look at it, it turns out that the doll was still alive. She was rushed to a hospital wherein she survived for only 18 more hours. She also spoke a strange language that was unfamiliar to the agents. However, eventually she started speaking poor Russian, which one of the agents named Antony Kovalchik also spoke. The interview went as follows. Hello, I'm Antony. What's your name? Are you gonna take me back to him? No, I promise. I'm just here to talk to you. I don't want to go back. You don't have to. You're safe now, Mishka. Can you tell me what happened to you? Do you remember the night he came to your house? I remember. He hurt Mama and Papa and Katya and Yuliana for a long time and they were bleeding. After they stopped screaming, he put me in his bag. His bag? He had a big bag. Other children were in the bag too. I think we go to other houses. I hear people screaming outside the bag all during the night. Each house he put another child in the bag. Then after the night, he'd take us away. Where did he take you? Underground. Deep. Underground? You mean in a basement? Deep. Everything earth and mud and ice. Bones everywhere. Everything cold. I can't sleep because it's too cold. Were there lots of other children there with you? Lots of children. Lots of tunnels, lots of holes, but I can't see it all. I can't see the other. Too dark. My hole is with Renee and Hekla and Sasha and Paul. We make the toys together. The toys? If you don't make the toys, you don't eat. Don't stop making the toys, don't fall asleep. Or he hurt you. He hurts you? How? He hit you, or he burn you, or he bite off your fingers, or he cook you on the fire in his room and eat you. He eat Felipe and Sally. What about you? How did this happen to you? Did he do this? Renee and Hekla and Sasha and Paul do this. They have to. Why? I get sick. When you can't make the toys, you become the toys. The language she spoke prior to this has still not been traced to any origin, though it may be pre-Proto-Germanic. So, what's my theory on all this? Well, it's basic, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's been said before, but it goes like this. I think that the Yule Man is one of two things. Either a demon or inversely a cursed human. If it's a demon, it's carrying out all of these things for its own enjoyment more than likely. However, if it's a cursed human that's more or less had their humanity removed, possibly thousands of years ago, it may have been programmed to give another entity a certain amount of sacrifices in order to make it more powerful, or so that its soul can eventually be freed. That may be why the Weihnacht events seem calculated and specific, despite the fact that several of them happened during the same period in many different places. I'd say that it's probably a better theory than just calling it evil Santa Claus, since it does leave toys sometimes and it does break into houses. Well, plus it has a giant bag and the victims it kidnaps are forced to make toys somewhere, but nah, it can't be that simple, I think. SCP-784 is a pretty interesting holiday SCP that I personally find decently creepy. Granted, I don't think much will compete with the Yule Man, but still. This SCP is a neighborhood in a Texas town that has a particularly severe case of the holiday spirit. The area, which consists of 24 houses and 2 apartment buildings, is always decorated with Christmas lights and covered in snow. Most of the residents are adult humans dressed in Christmas sweaters, though there are some younger people present. They do age normally, however, nobody has passed away there as of yet. That being said, nobody has been born there either, so it seems like they just kinda have who they have, and that's it. They do all the usual Christmas stuff, religious plays, caroling, drinking eggnog, etc. They also exchange gifts and decorate. After dark, some people will participate in some good old Christmas crime, like egging houses, changing Humvees into sleighs, replacing frag grenades with ornaments. Why are there frag grenades here in the first place? Is that just holiday tradition in Texas? They also fill gas tanks with eggnog and weld steel antlers onto safety helmets. Real menaces. Any living creature that walks into the neighborhood will be converted if they're not practicing the holiday spirit. Animals will be given little accessories like collars and hats and stuff, while humans will be knocked out and dragged into a house where they will exit dressed similarly to everyone else. It's unknown what goes on in here, but what is known is that when someone tries to take the newly converted person away, they'll be met with a lot of resistance. Trust me, their rules for Christmas spirit are strange, but we'll get into those later. Once a month, a person from SCP-784 will leave the neighborhood with a long string of lights in what's called a Noel event. During said event, they'll find a house in the surrounding area and attach the lights to it, making it look the same and act the same as the houses in SCP-784. In order to avoid Noel events, staff of the SCP Foundation must enter the neighborhood dressed in Santa outfits and singing carols. They'll then pass out eggnog laced with a mild sedative and bide their time by continuing to sing whatever carols the people want to hear. This is because it's much easier to keep them calm, as they can attack and abduct you even while almost completely unconscious. Eventually, if all goes well, everyone will fall asleep. If it doesn't and the remaining people can't be quietly incapacitated, sleeping gas will be deployed until they take everyone out. So let's just get into these strange Christmas rules they have. Agent Paulson wished someone happy holidays, which was not taken very well. He was surrounded by 8 people and taken into a nearby home. Agent Matthews sang the wrong verse on Silent Night. He was incapacitated non-violently with a string of lights somehow, and another agent attempted to intervene, causing them both to be incapacitated and dragged into a home that Christmas carols could be heard from for several days afterward. Agent Anderson accidentally ran into a Santa-style lawn gnome, causing him to curse for several seconds. This would lead to him being held down and forced to drink a quart, or 946 milliliters, of eggnog until he passed out. He was subsequently dragged into a home. Agent Davids was given a Christmas present by a kid, but wasn't enthusiastic enough, causing him to be attacked by several of them and, of course, dragged into a home. I don't really think I should have to explain why this is so creepy. For one, the Noel event, if not contained, could possibly just spread to the entirety of mainland North and South America and possibly the world. I'm guessing, based on how they describe the Noel event, that if a house is decorated, it basically just becomes a part of this neighborhood, meaning they could just continue to invade surrounding neighborhoods. What's also scary is that you could just be walking along during some summer day, accidentally walk by this neighborhood, which is constantly in Christmas time, and be subsequently attacked and kidnapped for the rest of your life because you lacked proper Christmas spirit. It also seems like the subjects undergo a brainwashing process and possibly merge with some kind of higher level hive mind. I mean, this truly could be a global threat. Another thing that creeps me out is the fact that we have no idea how this started. Was it just some really festive person that walked into a neighborhood and slowly started spreading the holiday cheer? Or did the neighborhood just suddenly become like this and now it's trying to spread? Who knows? Maybe most of the people that lived there were abducted themselves. Either way, if you see a strange neighborhood covered in snow and Christmas decorations in Texas when it's not winter, you should probably run away. SCP-2536 is one that doesn't seem that bad at first. It's not really inherently unsettling like the other two I've spoken about. It appears as a Christmas tree with purple and white decorations that has a speaker playing "I Wish It Were Christmas Every Day" by Wizard non-stop. It only exists during the month of December as well. It will always show up in front of 6 members of the SCP Foundation staff with a wrapped present sitting under it. The gift will contain whatever the person opening it desires most. You know, like that gift from the regular show Christmas special. It doesn't matter how large or small the item is, the box will remain the same. If the person just ignores the present and leaves, it disappears. Upon its first appearance, a note was also attached at the bottom of the tree saying, "Hear it! We love nothing more than to watch the good work you fellows do. Your empathy and moral integrity are an inspiration to us all. And so, in this season of giving, we have decided to present you brave heroes who do so much for us with a gift of your own. Enjoy. Merry Christmas, OSN." No clue who this OSN company is, but they must be some pretty generous people. Or at least, that's how they seem. We then see different people and what presents they got. These range from a gold wristwatch to seeing their family again. Nothing too crazy. Well, except whatever happened to Agent Rayleigh. Doesn't look very good. We then get into the more, infamous gifts that this SCP has given out. A D-Class individual was gifted materials that allowed them to revolt along with several other D-Class individuals. This caused a lot of containment breaches, but it was eventually subdued. A redacted SCP also received a gift, this being some kind of otherworldly device that allowed it to transfer itself to some unknown location. This means that technically a gift can be given to anyone in there. The most terrifying contained SCPs, the most deranged people, any of them. Which obviously leads to my issue. Could you just want a black hole and wipe out the entire Earth? Maybe a nuke? Maybe something incomprehensible that would tear apart the fabric of reality? The possibilities are truly endless, and that endless nature is truly terrifying to me. That being said, happy holidays and thank you again for the support, everyone.